Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. We are filming today the comparison between the three different Pronto models we have here. This is the V1, this is the original version. This was never sold in America until right now. There is a special sale going on. There is the Pronto one, which is the original version that was sold in America and still is. This is kind of like our baseline when we're going to be doing our comparison. This is what everybody is most familiar with. And the very newest release from Pronto USA is the Pronto Square. This has the optional footwell that has been requested for quite some time now, and they made it happen. And I've noticed that from Pronto USA is a lot of times if you get some buzz going about something, people are requesting it a lot of times they do their best to make it happen. So we're going to go ahead and compare these for you. We're going to do some side-by-side, show you some differences, and later on in the video, at some point, we're going to have a special sneak peek kind of teaser information for you that has not been disclosed yet. So we're really excited about that. We're just going to go ahead and start with the tires and the lock because that's going to be the biggest difference, especially from V1 to the others. This has the different tires and it has a different locking system, and I had a lot of questions about that, so I want to go ahead and just get that right out of the way so you understand what is going on here. So this being the V1, you can see the tires have like a tread on them. They have a different look to them here. And they also have 3 spokes, 1, 2, 3, versus on the other 2 models, there are 5 spokes and they are smooth here. They're textured, but they are smooth versus the other option has that tread on it. And these are very similar. This is a little bit cleaner because it's newer, but you can see here that it is smooth, but it does have some very light texturing on there. And as far as how they attach, they all do attach the same way, which is super cool because sometimes I like to change out the tires for a different one. So this is a V1 tire, you'll see here, and I'll just swap that because as you can see, the attachment is the same. So the continuity between models is super cool, especially if you're kind of crazy like me and you have more than one. So just wanted to point that out, as I know I've had some questions from people asking about the tires and if they're possible to be interchanged. And you can see here tires on the bottom, very similar in size, but these might be slightly smaller. We're going to go ahead and do a dimensions chart the way that we normally do, so you can get a comparison between the 3 and get the stats on exactly how big they are. But they are just the same as the smaller tires here. They have this tread on them, and the other tires do not, the bigger tires for the Pronto 1 and for the Pronto Squared. They all remove the same way. You push the button in the center and it pops right out. All 3 models are the same. And they also, for releasing the top tires, they are also the same. The other thing that I'll point out while I'm down here is the locking mechanism. You can see this strap here. This is the manual lock for the V1. I know a lot of people have had a hard time visualizing what does that mean. This is what it is. Very easy to use. In some ways, I find that it's a little more intuitive for new Pronto owners, as sometimes people have a hard time finding the auto lock on this one because it's so intuitive, it just blends right in. Here, you can see the strap, you know, okay, this is where I'm going to go ahead and release it, and that's how I let it go. So you're going to just push that down, but I'm not going to do it right now because it'll open. But this is the strap to release it. Now, like I said, on here, sometimes people, it takes a little while to get used to it because you have to find the lock when you're going to do the unlocking here. I'll do this one because it's at the end. So you just literally push this down and you just saw this open, it's released. And then push it together and it's locked again. So that is one of the biggest differences, is the locking system there. It's the same from the Pronto 1 to the Pronto Square. It is just different from the V1. This has the manual lock. So I wanted to say at the front of the video here that, so this is the V1 that is from China. We originally had the V1 from Korea. I know it was also sold in Australia as well as Germany, other places like that. That V1 is slightly different to this one. This is a kind of akin to like a 1.5, but for the purposes of the video, we'll call it a V1. So this is what it's always going to be called, a V1. But I'm just saying, if you are watching this and you have one of those older, like the original one that we had, it will be slightly just a little bit different from this one. But this is the V1 for all intents and purposes. This is the only one that's sold in the States. So dimension-wise, they all look exactly the same pretty much. I will say that the tires between the V1 and the other 2 options are slightly smaller. So when you stand them up next to each other, it looks a tad shorter. And that's not necessarily that it is actually shorter in the seating area or anything like that. It's just simply the tires. The other question that we had a lot of people asking about was the Smart Tray, because the Smart Tray, I was told, does not work on the V1. So this is the Smart Tray that Pronto USA sells, and it has a lip. It's a hard tray, and it has these little holders for a phone or whatever like that. So a lot of people were asking, is that really true, that it doesn't work? So we did a little experiment here. I'll show you. We conducted the test. So if you see on the Smart Tray here that these cutouts, these go around these little bars right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on so you can see how it fits here on the squared. Okay, this is the Pronto squared. It fits perfectly, and it fits also on the V1. Now when you go ahead and you try it on, it fits on, it fits on the Pronto one. The V1 that I'll show you here, if I snap it in on this side, just the way I would on the other models, you'll notice it just doesn't reach. This is a little bit wider, slightly wider than on the other models, and it's just wide enough that it's not possible. It really won't reach. So unfortunately, I can confirm this is not going to work on the V1. The Smart Tray will not work. The other accessory that will not translate from the other models to the V1 is the cup holders are different for the V1, and each V1 comes with this cup holder that does work on it. However, the other thing that does not translate is the plastic attachment points on the parent organizer that Pronto USA sells, because I don't know if you can see, it's very small detail. This attachment point is different. This plastic piece is different. This is the plastic attachment spot on the V1, and it is an entirely different design. So these plastic pieces that fit onto the Pronto one and the Pronto squared just don't make sense here at all. And that's why it doesn't work. However, the Pronto one organizer Pronto USA sells also has these Velcro straps for universal fit. So if you buy the Pronto parent organizer, which I highly recommend, we have 3 or 4 of them, because I really like them on all of my strollers, you can still use it on your V1. You just have to use these straps because the plastic piece is not compatible. So that's just something to note as a difference between the two. And you do have access to one cup holder when you buy the V1. If they're still in stock when you watch this video, I hope they are, because they're awesome. So that's going to be the differences that are not compatible between the strollers. Everything else, such as the color packs, the canopy lips, the seats, they all go on the same. So that will all translate. The multi-bag that you see here on the front of the Pronto one, that's all going to work out the same. So thankfully, the vast majority of the things that you can use, you can customize from one Pronto to the next, they're all going to translate across the models. There are just those 2 small differences that you're going to want to note about the plastic attachment points on the stroller handlebar, as well as the Smart Tray. So 2 small things to note about the V1. The V1s from China came with these little covers. These 4 areas are where the canopy snaps into place. So I'll take one off so you can see. This is one of the canopy brackets, and they came with these covers, and they also came with covers here on these sides. I was told by Pronto USA, they asked, and it's because these areas, I'll take one off so you can see, these pose more of a pinching hazard. As you can see the difference in kind of like the design between these bars and these bars, it's a little bit different. So it came with these covers. I don't know how necessary these are. I guess it depends on your kid. But I just wanted to include that so that, anybody that buys the V1 can understand what those are for. So the next part that I'm going to talk to you about are the cup holders. As I told you before, there's one cup holder that comes with the V1 because this attachment point is different. So you can see this here. This is the cup holder that works for the Pronto 1 and for the Pronto Squared, the 2 versions sold in America. So this can go here on these 2 attachment points I was telling you about inside the Pronto 1. However, with the squared, they heard our calls because we told Pronto USA we need more cup holders, and they not only added some extra, so you can attach it here on these inside as well, or they added 2 on each side, bringing us to a total capacity of 6 areas for cup holders. So I'll go ahead and show you how that looks placed onto your stroller. And so you can have, you can put kids' cups here on the inside of the wagon or the stroller as well. However, for adults, if you have a big family or it's just really hot, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the parent organizer, there are 2 mesh cup holders already. I have seen people that like to put this rigid cup holder inside just to give it a little bit more structure. So if you think about that, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 6 cup holders. I love that. So I just wanted to point that out because from version to version, that is a feature that does vary. Now from here, we're going to talk about baskets. We're going to talk about brakes. So for the V1, this basket is very simple. Dimensionally, they look pretty much the same. This might be a little bit wider of a mouth, but it looks very much the same. The difference is that inside there is not pockets. There's no extra flap organizer that comes out. It's just very simple. It's still very strong, very sturdy because it attaches the same way, but it is just very simple inside. Now, if you move on to the Pronto 1 and the squared versions, they each have these big cup holders that can be, I guess you can do whatever you want with them, but you can put a big thermos in there or something like that. And they also have this additional flap that comes out where you can store things. So a lot of times in Korea, these are used for shoes of the little ones that are in the stroller. So this is a little bit more organization that you can have, and it is exactly the same over here on the squared. So that's something to note about the basket. Alternatively, or as well, here you can see the brake. This is the brake on the squared, and this is the brake on the one. Forgive us, please. We did not wipe that clean. If you note here, this is the brake on the V1, and it also is just straight. However, I will say that the coating on the V1 of the paint is a little bit different. I don't know if you can see that necessarily. I can feel it here on this brake. I don't really know what is the name for it. I think this is flat. Powder coated, and this is flat. I think Eddie called it like a gloss coating. So this is more shiny, and this is more matte. This is powder coated. And that's going to be the same for both of the versions sold in America. So that is also something that I should point out for you. So one more small difference, or not really a difference, just a tip that I want to include about the V1 is, so this is the locking strap here, as you can see. I noticed after a deep dive on the Pronto Instagram that what they often do is they kind of hang this up right in here. And I think that's just to make it look a little more chic, chic for baby. It's kind of like just to make it look a little nice so it's not just hanging around down there. So obviously not important, but just something that I wanted to tell you about. Otherwise, I think a lot of things are rarely the same. So, just to tell you a few things here, they all have this safety reflective little strip around the lip, as you can see from each one. They each have it, which is so great. Actually, that has been an asset for us when you go on walks at night and stuff. We also like to hang lights on our Pronto, which is really great for visibility. And it's just fun. Let's be honest. I'm an adult, but I'm also a kid. It's just fun to customize it, change up the colors, put some lights on it, do all that cool stuff. And if you join the Pronto community group, we often, for holidays, if it's 4th of July, if it's Halloween or Christmas or something like that, sometimes we do like little contests just to see who can make the coolest costume or whatever for their Pronto, and there's prizes. So highly encourage you to check that out. Like I said, dimensions-wise, things are very, very similar. The brake is the same here. You're going to see, to unlock the front tire, it's got 2 clicks on it, so it's not easy for kids to do and undo. And that's the same. Here, you've got the same 2 clicks happening. The method of putting on and taking off the seats, the lip, is the same. The method of using this peekaboo window here is the same, as you'll see when you join me on this side. It is the same. It's the system with the little toggle and the elastic. You can let it go and then zip it up. So the view is very much the same. It's going to be very comfortable and easy to use for people that are, acquainted with the Pronto. So a lot of the features, this is something that we love about Pronto, is from the very first version, they put so much thought and dedication and time into designing it well, designing it intuitively, ways that make sense, ways that look nice, that when they went from one version to the next, they made some really great changes, but the bones of the thing itself were so good. They didn't have to change a lot of the features that are on here. So we just have really admired, I have owned way too many strollers, way too many wagons, and we have just found that Pronto is consistently quality, consistent customer service. I mean, I've never had customer service like we've experienced with Pronto USA. So I just have to, I'll throw in a little blurb for you here. When we first got our V1, we were in Korea, and I saw it. I saw so many stroller wagons out on the streets. People were using them, and I thought, I really want one of those for my kid. And I really want to keep it like a souvenir of our time in Korea. We love Korea. And so I started doing research online, seeing which wagon. And originally I bought a cheaper one that I thought would be nice. And that sucker broke. So we decided, just do a little more research, find something that looks a little high end, probably a little out of our basic Army budget, but we're gonna just try and invest in something. So the Pronto, the V1 had actually just come out, and I really fell in love with it, but the price tag was kind of scary. We never bought any baby gear that expensive ever. And so I remember like going to bed and I had it up on my screen, and it's all in Korean. I don't speak Korean, but I kind of knew how to navigate the websites a little bit, especially because I was determined. And so I had it up on my screen, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna show it to my husband, just see, maybe I'll work on it. Maybe it'll take a month, right? And I'll just bring it up every now and again. We're out shopping. Hey, look at that family. They look so happy. And so I show him the screen at night. I'm like, hey, look at this. So I know we can't read. Oh, sorry, pause. Sorry, we are parents. But anyway, so I can't read Korean. I don't know what any of this says, and I am acutely aware of the fact that if something is wrong with it or we don't understand it, I can't call anybody to ask for help. So I'm showing him the website, and I'm kind of just like telling him the features I like about it that I can see, and he said yes. And I was so confused, and I almost felt bad, because I felt like maybe he's not understanding. If there's a warranty issue or something like that, then we're out of luck. But he was on board. He was, he said yes. And then I found out that the website didn't take American cards. I needed a Korean card, and I thought, well, there's a barrier for me. But I remember that I go to Korean classes like on Thursdays or something, and the teacher is just like the coolest lady. Cindy, if you see this, I remember you every time we talk about Pronto. And so I was telling her, we went out to brunch, a bunch of ladies after class, and I was telling her, found this awesome stroller wagon. We really love, Korean baby gear. We want to be part of it. But it's not taking my card. I don't know what to do. And she said, I'll buy it for you. Just pay me back. And I thought, it was actually maybe the same price as this back then. So this is a really great deal if you want a Pronto. But I was like, girl, that's really expensive. Are you sure? Because the ATM only lets me pull out like $200 at a time. I can't pay you right away. She said, no, don't worry about it. Just pay me the next time we have class. So she literally bought it for me, and didn't take any money from me at that time. It was just insane. She's the nicest lady. I love Korean culture, but I'm not to say that she's, everybody is so nice over there, and she's so wonderful. And so it was just incredible. So we actually couldn't even get it delivered to our house. We had to get it delivered to a friend's house because they lived off post. We lived on the post where you can't get deliveries done. So we got it delivered to a friend. It was like a whole thing, a whole journey. And it was so exciting getting it home and opening it up. And from that very second, our oldest loved it. And that was when he was 2. And so now he's 6, and he still loves it. We have 2 more kids now. So if we had space to let him ride every time, he would ride every time in a heartbeat. He really loves this thing. So when people ask, is it good for kids with different age gap, a bigger age gap? Is it good for bigger kids? Is it going to be good for my child that has a medical disability and they're on the bigger side? Are they going to be comfortable in it? Are they going to be able to sit well in there and just feel good about it? And that's another thing I love about the Pronto. So they all have access to put on a blackout net, which is a really good asset for kids that just need some sensory time getting away from overstimulation. You can put on different shades, different nets. They have rain cover, the winter cover, the summer cover. It is so customizable for your needs, for your tastes. And then we also got the Simple Stitch. We got Lauren. She does custom accessories, which is what we have here. As you can see, we have the lip here. She has a lot of products. So she has these covers for the harnesses. She got this liner. She got 2 different kinds of liners. She sells the seat back covers. She sells pillows, matching pillows. They have a matching organizer. I know she's got tons of things in the works, even like wet bags and stuff. So it's just such a great stroller. I mean, even when we got this new Simple Stitch accessory set in and I put it on a stroller, our oldest thought we got a new stroller. He said, "Ooh, we got another Pronto," and I was like, "No, buddy, it just looks really great." Like, and they clean up so well. So, in my opinion, whichever way you go, you're not gonna lose. You're a winner no matter what, either way. It depends on your preferences, your needs for your family. If you're gonna need, for example, a footwell. So, if you want to check out the footwell in action, I'll just show it to you right now because it's that easy. I was going to say just watch our other video, and you still should. But check this out, okay? You're going to pull this up. These are the handles. You release the clips that are in there. Literally, that's the whole shebang. You can put this down in there if you want to. I don't think when we use it I will, because that's a very wipeable surface. And if for some reason it did get a stain on it, it's covered when it's in the non-footwell position. So that's literally how easy it is. I love it. But something to remember when you're deciding between the footwell version or the other two is that this Pronto Square has a slightly lower weight limit on it. So these two options are 175 approved. The weight limit on the Pronto Squared is 132. So 66 pounds per bench there. As you can see from my pictures from earlier, I got into it, didn't have a problem, but I am fully aware that like voids my warranty, and that's okay. Like I trust these so much because I've been in there multiple times. I go in there to nurse. I kind of always have a nursling at this point in life, and I slap that blackout shade on. I get in there and I can just nurse freely without feeling uncomfortable or, without being worried about, if I'm showing a lot or whatever, because I like to be discreet and I have a hard time being discreet. So these have been so good for us as a growing family, having a bigger kid, having little babies. They have car seat adapter. They have different ways that you can do different age groups in here. And they're obviously great for a nap because you can just lay baby down and there you go. And obviously you supervise, but you supervise your kids anywhere. So I have to say, there's obviously different price ranges here. The V1 with the pre-order, this is $5.90. Well, I guess the pre-order's over now. It's just kind of the sale. These are only in stock as long as we have stock. There will not be a restock on the V1. So if you're watching this and you're interested in one, drop a comment or something. Let's get in touch because once these are sold out, there will not be any more for sale. These are $5.90, and they come with these leather grips. They come with the blackout net. They come with the mosquito net, and they come with this cup holder, and they come with a flat tray as well. They come with this flat snack tray as well as those little covers I was telling you about earlier. So the snack tray goes right here, and it has Velcro to attach. So it comes with, and there's 3 different color options for the V1. These are $8.50 plus shipping and tax. So that's going to be for the Pronto one. That's the price right now. I'm going to state as a disclaimer, I don't know, inflation and stuff. If you watch this like in 2 years, the price might not be the same. But as of 2022, these are the prices. And then for the Pronto Square, these are $1,000 plus shipping and tax. And I know for a lot of people that price can be a barrier. I will say this is a high-end option. I mean, this is the best push out of the stroller wagons. No, like not even close in my opinion. Like we've had a lot of them, and this is the best push for sure. It's right up there with like Bugaboo as far as the push goes. So it is a higher end option, but I will say, I mean, let's say that you get 8 years of use out of this. Divide that price up amongst all of those years and then consider resale, because these do hold their value. So if you have it for years and you use it all the time, you just keep it in good condition. And I don't mean anything crazy. We really don't baby ours. And we've had this one for like a couple years now. It feels like maybe at least a year and a half, and it looks fantastic. You can just literally wipe it with a baby wipe and it looks so good. So as long as you keep it in pretty good condition, nothing's broken or anything, you can get a couple hundred for resale at least, you know, almost 10 years from now, I would say. So you can divide that up amongst the months that you would have it. It's like 10 bucks a month to have a fantastic stroller. And I know that there are different services, Affirm, Klarna. There's also PayPal you can break it up into like 4 payments with no interest or anything like that. So there are ways for it to be accessible. But if you are on a budget and you just say, you know what, I would love to have a Pronto, but I can't drop $1,000 on it, no matter the how it's going to pay out over time. Maybe the V1 is going to be an option for you if they're still in stock. I mean, that has been a message I've gotten from so many parents, is that this sale for the for the V1 has made Pronto accessible for so many families who have wanted one for a year and a half. They've been looking at a Pronto and dreaming of one. So that is why I'm so glad that it's available right now for this period of time for families that really want a Pronto. And I'm just going to take this opportunity right now to go ahead and give you a little juicy tidbit. You have watched a lot of video and I appreciate that. I hope it's been helpful for you. I talked to Pronto USA. I asked them, I let them know I'm going to do 3-way comparison. Is there anything I can give to the people? And they gave me something. So as I told you before, they listen, okay? We asked for more cup holders, they're going to give it to us. We asked for footwell, they're going to give it to us. We asked for different accessories, they've made it happen. So the smart tray was one of those things as well. There has been a lot of buzz about a Pronto 4-seater. We want a 4-seater that doesn't look like a pack and play. We want a 4-seater that isn't so heavy and huge. Pronto's going to deliver for you, okay? Because they said it's in the works. They're going to make it, they're working on it. They're not going to bring out anything that is not up to their standards. So it may take a little time because they want to get it right. And they want it to deliver on what we expect from a Pronto. But you can look forward to them working on that and hopefully getting them out sometime. I'm excited for that. I'm going to have more kids. I want a Pronto 4-seater. So just something that we wanted to share with you guys for watching our video. And they were so kind as to share that with us. Very exciting. So last thing I want to share with you that we just tried, we folded each one of these up and weighed them. And I will say, I don't know if our accessories make a difference as far as weight goes, so don't quote me that all Prontos will weigh this much for the different models. But the V1 weighed in for us at 33 pounds, the Pronto one weighed in for us at 37 pounds, and the Pronto Squared weighed in for us at 36 pounds. So the V1 is going to be slightly lighter. I think that would make sense across the board. So that was just the findings of our experiment here. Just something to tune in for in the future on our channel. We're going to be making a Pronto tips and tricks video, just something to get new Pronto owners acquainted with their stroller. And to be honest, I was discovering things about my Pronto and the design of it for years after we owned it. So even if you are a Pronto owner already, this could probably be useful for you as well. And we're also going to be doing an accessories video to show you how the different covers go on, how the different nets go on, the different shades, the consoles, things like that, cup holders. So hopefully that will be useful for you as well. Please like, share, subscribe, as we always say, all the good things. And we hope that we'll see you on the next video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below and we'll do our best to help you. And I recommend that you join the Pronto Community and Love Facebook group if you are interested in a Pronto. There's so many parents on there that are so willing to help. If you're not sure about Pronto and you know it's a big expense for you and you want to try one before you see one, they're not sold in stores. So what I recommend you do is go on the Pronto group and say, hey, I'm in such and such place. I'm interested in trying a Pronto. Would anybody be willing to help me out? And there are always, I've done it a few times myself. There are plenty of parents that are happy to do that because they love their Pronto and they just want to share the Pronto love. So I recommend that you join that group because there are people that are willing to help if you have a specific trunk question. Is the size of the Pronto going to fit in my trunk? All those kind of things. Parents are super helpful. So hopefully this video was good and you know, we did our best trying to do justice to the different Pronto and the different features that they each have. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one.